Locks, me just love Christmas. Everything about Christmas. From me as a little picnic, coming right up to now when me turn big smarty, me still manage to get so excited about Christmas. And I don't even know where to start to tell you about my memories of Christmas when me was a little girl. Because for me, Christmas did really start from about October, when the Christmas breeze in a country high and the whole atmosphere changed. And it's like you could hear the angels singing. You could everything just nice. I mean, the fruits coming in season, certain types of plants, etc. Love it. And then now, not to mention all the preparations. And the best time of all was Christmas Eve. Because first of all, by Christmas Eve, every tree in the yard did have a whitewash. Certainly from the trunk to about maybe trunk of the tree to probably about halfway up have to be whitewashed, my dear. And the stones around the plants, they had to be whitewashed too. So we never had snow in Jamaica, but we certainly had whitewashed stones and trees that make it look like snow. Of course, by then the poinsettia, and I don't even remember that white color flowers that used to come up on Christmas. But anyway, the whole place just looked festive. Nature conspired to make it look festive. But then now, Christmas Eve, we the children would make these decorations. And we would get crepe paper. And we fold the crepe paper in a particular way and made garlands to be hung on the Christmas tree. And of course, there was tinsel, always red, green, gold, different color tinsel had to be hung on the Christmas tree. So everywhere looked festive, And then, can I tell you something? They would gather all the Christmas cards from many Christmases past, and they would hang a string in the hall. And me dear, hang up all of the Christmas card them. Of course, the Christmas card them did look very pretty, and my favorite ones were the ones that had the snow, on the houses. And you said, Lord, I wish I could be in that place and the light coming through the houses. Not to mention the Christmas cards with baby Jesus in a manger and the three wise men on the camels and so on. And it just transports you as a child in your imagination to a whole different world. Yes, man. Now, most of the decorations, we made them. We, the children, made them. Though, of course, one or two of them was store-bought. Because, my dear, we had the snow globes that had it was like made of glass. And they had in some little, usually a little picture or something. And then these little things that made it seem like it was snow, but it was glistening. And then you would shake it and it just looked very pretty. Gosh, I wish I could describe it to you better than that. But we know some of you remember the snow globe them, yes. And we used to have, of course, the Christmas balls. We still have them. Of course, you had to be very careful because these decorations, the ones that were store-bought, you had to handle them very carefully, my dear, because you don't want them drop and mash. And speaking of drop and mash, one of the things that used to happen at Christmas Eve? The cabinet. Every single thing out of your mother's cabinet had to be taken out and washed, and the cabinet is cleaned and polished. And you had to be careful how you handle the glassware, because woe be unto you should any of the glasses or whatever nice it is that my mother had, nice crockery that she had in the cabinet, woe to you if any of them should break. First of all, you had to hear the history of Oh, you see that little butter dish? That was belonged to my great-great-grandmother. And that one was my wedding present from Auntie Lynn. And this glass, oh, that was my first son. The first job, he gave me a whole set. And you children, take your poison hand and you touch them and broke off everyone and only one left. That's why it had to be in the cabinet. So it was both a fascinating time to clean out the cabinet and hear the stories about each of the pieces of crockery, the precious pieces of crockery in it. But at the same time, it was a time of trepidation because none of them broke. But after they cleaned the cabinet, my dear, they had these doilies. No, they were made of paper, but it was like the doilies appeared as if it was cut work or possibly lace. And that now would be put on each of the shelf of the cabinet, and my mother would use her decorating skills to display the choice crockeries very artfully on each shelf, my dear. And Christmas would not be complete if your cabinet was not cleaned out and prepared, because everything had to look festive. I came from a town called Balaclava, and Balaclava was a train station as well. And that was when family from Kingston would come down on Christmas Eve on the train. So suddenly the train took on a whole new meaning on Christmas Eve, because when you hear that the train would blow its horn around the corner, coming, you know that is coming with your older brother, the auntie, the cousin, not to mention the girlfriends that sometimes the boys would take home, And with them, it's not just that you're happy to see them. They are coming with gifts and all kinds of nice things from Kingston. So, and all that would happen on Christmas Eve, because Christmas Eve in the town, was also the time for the big grand market. And I think some time ago I told you about the grand market, how that was one big affair where people would come from all about the district with all their goods, all the grown provisions, all the this, the that. The devil knows what to sell. But then it would also be a kind of fair. And they would make these homemade rides, so that our merry-go-round was made of the skilled artisans in the community would make these merry-go-rounds, and a donkey would be the one to take make the merry-go-round move. It was just a wonderful time. But in my home, what I remember was the smells of cooking on Christmas Eve, because my father did love pork, Of course, the pig and the Christmas pig, the Christmas fowl, and we also had turkeys. They were fattened up for Christmas and prepared on Christmas Eve. So the pig, and Daddy used to roast a whole pig, yes? And that would be roasted on Christmas Eve, because you want to make sure that all the foods that you're going to have on Christmas Day leading to Boxing Day was more or less prepared. That was also the time when my mother put the finishing touches on the sorrel, because the sorrel would have been drawn already, But you want to make sure that it is perfectly fine. By Christmas Eve, everything must be done. Of course, the cakes would have already been baked, but that Christmas Eve night or Christmas Eve during the day, she might put a little bit more wine on it to keep it nice and moist, and so on. Not to mention the fact that people would be coming in anyway, so you have to give them a little something of Christmas to eat, which always included cake and sorrel, whether or not Christmas Day was here, yes or no. I remember at home, we always had a mountain of gifts for persons. The relatives who would come from their adjoining communities, and my mother, she would always call it the niceties. I don't know, that is probably where I get the word from. And she would have little packages for all the persons who would come. And she would have for the neighbors as well, and for the shut-in. They would always have their special Christmas packages, you know. We used to have to change curtains at Christmas, you know. New curtains was a must. New bed linen, or if not new, certainly the ones that was put up, the special spread that came from foreign, would be put up throughout the year. And it's only at Christmas time that that spread may come out, you know, the big chenille spread with the big everlasting peacock in the middle, or maybe flowers or something in the middle, and that would come out. Let me tell you something. You hear me talk about Christmas and my Christmas memories? Much of it is my memory of my experience of Christmas. Some of it is what I know that others have experienced, not necessarily my own. It would be really good if we all could get together and compare notes. You know, think, I'd love to know what your Christmas was like.